you are here and ready for our first math lesson of the week. So we've of course been working so much with awesome 3-digit numbers and talking and showing their value in different ways. Today we're going to be taking two 3-digit numbers and figuring out their relationship between each other. So let's check out our learning target for Monday. It says, I can compare 3-digit numbers using the language less than and greater than. So today we are focusing on comparing 3-digit numbers. We're going to be focusing on two 3-digit numbers and what's the relationship between them. When we're talking about comparing numbers, we're going to look for and discuss how the numbers are similar or how they are different. That is comparing 3-digit numbers. And when we're talking about comparing these numbers, we're going to be using some awesome new math language, math vocabulary. We've been practicing that when we talk about value, digit, unit form, expanded form, and today we're adding to our math vocabulary with less than and greater than. These two phrases are going to help us talk about and explain that comparison between the value of 3-digit numbers. So let's learn about our brand new vocabulary friends. So second grade, first up we've got less than. Can you say this with me? Less than, less than. When we're talking about two numbers and we're saying a number is less than another number, we're describing that as one is smaller than the other. Less than is a way to describe that the relationship between these numbers is smaller. When we compared them, we found that one was smaller than the other. They were less than. So when we're using and looking at the term less than, we're going to know it's referring to smaller, But our job is going to be to use our fancy math vocabulary, less than. We know it means smaller. So let me show you an example. So second grade, we've got a math sentence down here, a number sentence. It says 1 is less than 2. And I showed the value of each digit with our red dots. So we have the number 1, and when we compared number 1 to number 2, we figured out that their relationship was 1 is less than 2. 1 is smaller than 2. And that depended on our knowledge that we knew 1 has a smaller value than the digit 2. And something that is really important when we're looking at these number sentences, and we're going to work really hard today, is that when we're using less than or greater than, and we're comparing numbers, we need to always work from left to right. We need to read these sentences from left to right, just like we would when we're reading our own book. That rule applies here as well. Why that is so important is because we always need to focus on this first number, the number that's on the left. When we're writing a number sentence, we need to compare the first number to the second number. How is this first number similar or different to the second number? In this instance, 1 is less than 2. It's not the other way around. We can't switch it because we have to read from left to right. 1, its relationship to 2 is that 1 is less than 2. We always have to focus and start with this left number in order to write a correct number sentence. We've got less than, but we also have greater than. Can you read this with me? greater than. One more time, greater than. So if we're talking about greater than, that's another way to describe the relationship between two numbers. If we compare them, we can say one number is greater than the other. And if less than means smaller, greater than means bigger. That one number is bigger than the other. Greater than is our math phrase, our math vocabulary that we're going to work to use. But its definition, it means bigger. That a number is bigger than another. So let's take a look at another example sentence. So second grade, down here I've used the same two numbers, 1 and 2, but the order that I wrote them in our sentence from left to right, changed our comparison and how we talked about the numbers. So this sentence says, 2 is greater than 1. So now 2 is the number that's first. That's all the way to the left at the beginning of the sentence. So when we're writing these, we're describing what is 2's relationship to 1. How is the value of 2 different or similar to the value of 1? When we think about that, then we completed the sentence saying 2 is greater than 1. 2 is bigger than 1. It has more value, as we can see from our red dots. And we were able to use the term greater than because first of our knowledge of the value of 2 and the value of 1, and knowing that when we write these number sentences, we're working with them from left to right, starting with our first number and comparing it to our second number in order to write the correct sentence that describes the relationship accurately. So by using greater than, we now know that 2 is the bigger number and 1 is the smaller number. So greater than means bigger. We've got bigger numbers we're working with. Okay, second grade. So we're going to use these two math vocabulary phrases, less than and bigger than, as we work with our place value chart and practicing our own math explain. So I need you to get out your place value chart and all your awesome tools and get ready to start comparing numbers. Okay, second grade, do you have your place value chart out with all your awesome tools to the side? Okay, let's start comparing. So first number, we've got 74. This is going to be the beginning of our sentence. We're going to compare how is 74 similar or different to another number. So first, can we show 74 on our board? In 74, how many ones are there? How many ones? 4. Let's show 4 ones. Awesome. And how many tens? How many tens are there? 7. Let's show 7 tens on our board. Awesome. Can you do it with me? Got 5 and 2. Okay, we've got 74 on our board. 7 tens, 4 ones. So, we're taking 74 and we're going to compare it to a second number. So I need you to keep what you have so far. And I want you to add 100. Can you add 100 to your chart? So second grade, when we added our 100, what number do we get? What number's on our board now? 174. We didn't change our tens or our ones. we just added 100 and got 174. Okay, so how is 74 different than 174? What's different, second grade? 74? 174. What's different? In 174, there's 100. That is not in 74. So 174 has an extra 100 that 74 doesn't have. And if we added value, there's now 100 more. How can we describe this relationship? Let's compare. 74 is less than 174. Is it smaller? Or is 74 greater than 174? Is that bigger? What do you think? Less than or greater than? 74 in comparison to 174. We're starting here. 74 is less than 174. 74 is the smaller number. And because, why is that? Because there's an extra 100. So when we're describing and comparing second grade, we always want to talk about why we know this is correct. Why this sentence is right. How do we know that? 74 is less than 174 because there's an additional 100. That is the reason why. We're describing because. Okay, this is only our first one, so let's keep practicing. I need us all to reset. But before we keep going, I want us to give ourselves a lovely little break and move our bodies. So let's stand up, and I've got a question for you, of course. So for this or that, second grade, what would you rather have? A family game night? If so, you're going to do 5 jumping jacks. Or a family movie night? If so, you're going to do 5 running kicks. You got a choice. What do you want? Game night or movie night with your family? I love game nights because I usually end up laughing so hard. So I'm going to do 5 jumping jacks. You got your pick? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Nice little break. Come on, sit right back down and get that place value chart ready. Okay, you are back and ready to grow those skills. So, up next, we are comparing 267 to another number. So we're going to have to talk about how is 267 similar or different than another number. So first, let's show what we've got. So in 267, how many ones are there? How many ones? 7. There are 7 ones. Let's go ahead and show that. 5 and 2. 7 ones. Okay, how many 10s? How many 10s are in this number? 6. 6 10s. Let's go ahead and show that. 6 10s. Got 5 and 1. 6 10s. Last but not least, hundreds. How many hundreds are in this number? 2. There are 2 hundreds. Let's go ahead and show 2 hundreds. Do you got it all? 2 hundreds, 6 10s, 7 ones. Okay, awesome people. So with 267, I now want you to take away your ones. Take away your ones. What number do we have now? What numbers are on your board? We've got 260. 260. So second grade, what is the relationship between these two numbers? 267 compared to 260. So are the hundreds similar or different? They're the same. Each number has the same amount of hundreds. What about tens? How would we compare the tens? There's the same amount of tens as well. So far, these numbers look pretty similar. But last but not least, what about the ones place? Is something different? There are 7 ones in 267, but there are 0 ones in 260. Okay, second grade. So now that we've noticed the difference, there's 7 ones, but then there's 0 ones. How can we describe how can we compare these numbers? We have to start at the left. Start with the first number. Is 267 less than 260? Or is 267 greater than 260? From left to right, what's the relationship? 267 is the bigger number, so we would say is greater than 260. 267 is greater than 260 because, what was the reason we found? Because 267 has 7 ones when 260 has 0 ones. So that was our clue where we can justify that we used greater than. Okay, awesome people. Great job using our chart and starting with our language. We're going to do one last problem together to get you ready. So I want you to put your chart away and we're just going to look at the digits. So here is our last example, second grade. It looks a little bit different, but we are going to be using the exact same skills we just did. Instead of using our chart, we're going to use our knowledge of digits and place value to compare these numbers. So, when we're looking at a sentence, we of course need to start at the left. So, second grade, how many ones are in 813? How many ones? There's 3 ones exactly. How many tens? There's 1 10. And how many hundreds? There are 8 hundreds. Good job. So looking at 813, we have to compare it to 806. How is 813 similar or different than 806? Let's see. In 806, how many ones are there? There's 6 ones. How many tens? 0 tens. And how many hundreds? There are 8 hundreds, exactly. So second grade, now that we've taken an extra close look at the place value of these numbers, let's compare them. Let's first look at the hundreds place. What do you notice between these two numbers? Are the hundreds place similar or different? They're the same. place, second grade. Can you tell me about that? 813 has one 10, but 806 has no tens. That's our difference. That's what we want to look for. So that's going to tell us how to complete this number sentence. 113 is less than or greater than 806. Which one should we circle to complete our sentence? 110 versus 0 tens. So looking at our first number and comparing it to our second, is this number 813 bigger or smaller? It's bigger, so 813 is greater than 806. We were circling the phrase that correctly completed the sentence. But second grade, 813 is greater than 806 because, what's the reason we found? Because 110 is greater than 0 tenths. That was our clue. That is how we know, and we want to make sure we can describe that as well. Okay, awesome people, now that we've been working so great together, it's going to be your job to try your skills on your own. So I'm going to pull up your dojo worksheet so I can walk you through it and you can show me all what you know. Okay, second grade, so here is your dojo worksheet for today on Monday. You are going to be comparing 3-digit numbers just like we were practicing all together. So you're going to take a look at these 6 number sentences. They compare 2 numbers to each other. And it's going to be your job to circle if a number is less than or greater than a second number. We remember that whenever we're reading these sentences and working with them, we have to go from left to right. So how is this first number similar or different to the second number? Using less than or greater than. If you're having trouble remembering our vocabulary words, you can look at this little clue down here. Less than, smaller, greater than, bigger. So that can help you use the right language. So you're going to complete these 6 sentences by circling less than or greater than to make the sentence correct. So all you need to do, second grade, is just circle one option, less than or greater than. Just circle the one that is correct and describes the relationship between the first number to the second number. If you need to use your place value chart to compare, you are more than welcome to do it if you still need your chart to see the number. But I do challenge you to just take a look and be really careful where each digit is in each place. And how are the numbers similar or different? Make sure and slow down and really pay close attention what digit is in what place so you can understand the difference in value between your first number to the second number. So you're just going to complete these 6 sentences so I can see all that you know about 3-digit numbers place value. Okay, awesome people. Get your lovely worksheet skills out, and I can't wait to see what you know.